It is an international social media phenomenon. It is sometimes called a game, but it's a deadly one. It's actually a challenge, reportedly consisting of a series of tasks assigned to teenage participants by administrators over a 50-day period. It begins with innocuous tasks such as getting up early and ends with tasks that include danger and self-harm. Some have described it as a form of brainwashing. I'm talking about the Blue Whale Challenge that supposedly first appeared online in Russia in 2013. It's widely considered a hoax, but it resulted in a worldwide panic and copycat cases. Hi, I'm Tamworth Grice. Welcome to my channel, the Tamworth Grice Files, where you will find cases that are spooky, disturbing, fascinating, macabre, supernatural, and just plain weird. And in each instance, I have a personal connection to the case. So be sure to stick around to hear about that. The origin of the name Blue Whale is uncertain. Some claim it's based on a song by a Russian rock band that includes lines about a blue whale. Others say it has to do with whales becoming stranded on beaches and dying. The Blue Whale Challenge first attracted attention via a 2016 article in the Russian newspaper Novaya Gazeta. The reporter attributed over 100 child suicides to membership in a group on a Russian social media network. Subsequent investigations by other journalists and experts found no confirmed link between the alleged challenge and the numerous suicides reported. As information about the challenge spread, moral panic permeated first Russia and then the world. Parents, teachers, teens, and social services and law enforcement became excessively worried that every online interaction could be deadly. Some teens were unfairly labeled as at risk and said to be participating in the Blue Whale Challenge, even if they had nothing to do with it. False reports of deaths spread online, making the problem seem far bigger than it actually was. Nevertheless, police in Russia issued warnings about the Blue Whale Challenge. Law enforcement in other countries, such as France, Brazil, and India, issued notices. In Great Britain, the Devon Safeguarding Children Partnership created an entire online training and resources guide about the challenge. And in the U.S., the Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Office made a video about the risks. However, the Blue Whale Challenge is widely considered to have originated as a sensationalized hoax or fake news story. Claims of suicide connected to the challenge have been reported worldwide, but few, if any, have been confirmed, although, of course, teen suicides exist. Extensive and often sensationalized media coverage in countries like India, Russia, and the U.S. spread awareness of the challenge, creating a moral panic in families worldwide and providing a narrative that vulnerable young people could adopt for their self-harm or as a way to explain their experiences. The resulting panic and media coverage have led to instances, unfortunately, of imitated self-harm and copycat groups, making it a real risk for vulnerable individuals. Subsequent investigations by law enforcement and internet safety organizations have found no definitive evidence of a worldwide organized game or challenge that successfully coerces or brainwashes children into suicide. Experts emphasize that the core issue is not a boogeyman challenge, but rather existing mental health issues and high suicide rates among young people who may be drawn to online forums that discuss those topics. According to an article in the official journal of the Society of Digital Psychiatry, quote, although there is insufficient evidence to support the existence of the challenge, meaning the Blue Whale Challenge, its portrayal on social media has the potential to impact vulnerable individuals, unquote. Researchers highlight that direct exposure to self-harm through social media can increase suicide risk via imitation or modeling, a phenomenon known as suicide contagion. They concluded, quote, more effort is needed to educate social media users and content generators on safe messaging guidelines and on factors that encourage versus discourage contagion effects. Although the challenge itself is considered a hoax, a young man in Russia claims to have created the challenge. His name is Philipp Budeikin, or in Russian, Philipp Budeikin. He says his goal was to cleanse society of biological waste, which is what he called the individuals who committed suicide. This statement shocked the public and highlighted the dangerous mindset behind the phenomena. Born in Russia, Budeikin became involved in social media groups that targeted at-risk teenagers. During investigations, his statements, combined with his online activity, drew widespread attention and made him a central figure in media coverage of the challenge. In 2016, Russian authorities arrested Budeikin, and he was later convicted for his role in encouraging suicides. He received a prison sentence for 2 confirmed cases where he allegedly incited young people to harm themselves, although he has bragged about causing as many as 16 or more suicides. Many considered his 3-year prison sentence unnecessarily lenient. While the Blue Whale Challenge generated a massive moral panic worldwide, researchers continue to argue that the challenge was a hoax and the threat was exaggerated in the media and by parents and authorities. Nevertheless, Philipp Budeikin's case remains a chilling example of how manipulative online behavior can have devastating and even deadly real-world consequences. Now for my connection to the story. A few years ago, a friend and neighbor of mine died by her own hand. I won't go into the details of who she was, how she did it, or what was the cause. But I want to make the point that she was African American and that suicides by people of color are woefully underrepresented, particularly in discussions of at-risk children and teenagers. In the U.S., black children ages 5 to 12 are twice as likely to die by suicide as their white peers, and black teen suicides are growing at a shocking rate. I also want to point out that my friend's funeral was packed with her friends and family members, so much so that my boyfriend sadly remarked, I wonder if she would have done what she did if she had known how many people loved her. If you or someone you know is at risk, help is available. You may contact the Suicide and Crisis Hotline by calling or texting 988. It's available 24/7. It's free and confidential, and its website is 988lifeline.org. Also, you may contact the National Alliance on Mental Health. The helpline is 1-800-950-NAMI or 1-800-950-6264, and the website is nami.org. And you can find a list of international hotlines and resources on the International Association for Suicide Prevention website at NAMI. Also, there's a crisis text line. You can text HOME to 741741 and receive free support from trained counselors 24/7. Thanks for watching. If you found this story compelling, please subscribe and spread the word about my channel. I hope you'll return to view the next video in the Tamworth Grice Files, and I hope you'll subscribe because I really do need subscribers. Until next time, this is Tamworth Grice signing off. Stay wonderful, stay weird, and have beautiful dreams.